I mean, to be entirely honest, what the hell else is this guy gonna do? Like, nah, my children aren't worth this, man. Nah, you can have them. Oh, shit. Hmm. So, it sounds like, yet again, we must deal with a strange water monster. This one sounds electric? Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go not that way. August 1st, 1899. Several of the older forms have breached their containment area and escaped into the sewers. They remind me of my limitations. This is no... Jesus. This is no Chelm, and I am no Eliyahu. At least not quite yet. It is the heat generated from keeping the doorway between open that is to blame. We cannot simply pack them about with coolant as we do at the center where the doorway is. The later versions are kept safe by the freezing temperature of those towers. Up here, where the air is hot and fetid, they become overheated, and their duality tears them asunder, as the other place flies from their cells and their vitae splinters. They live sporadically, torn from one world to the other and back again in violent, unpredictable bursts. For a few seconds they are creatures of this world, then they are torn away and cease to have physical form. This vicious ripping back and forth between worlds has driven them quite insane. I have ordered the affected area sealed and will not allow my loyal workers to enter. These are damned places now, the abode of failed experiments, ghosts of fear and spite. Yeah, forms. Like, they're not, like, he didn't mention test subjects or pigs or anything, but he's talking about that electric thing that we're seeing down there. Whoa. Did you Did you? That was like a the audio cut out there. That was freaky.
Faster, Mantis. Drain the waters. Open the way to the bilge pumps. We are waiting for you.
Is it like? Oh yeah, yeah. Because it, I feel like they wouldn't really. feel like they wouldn't really throw an enemy at me. Here we are. Really? This thing's just sitting here?
But we can save them. We can set them free. We can replace a rotten old world with a clean new one.
Mr. Landis, you sound every bit the fanatic.
Well, how can I be otherwise, Professor? How can any man of ethics simply stand by and watch this world drown in its own excrement?
And your engineer, this visionary with whom you embarked upon this course, does he share your views?
Indeed he does. Indeed he does. The poor fellow has seen it all before. Now, this is not the first great civilization he has wept for.
And so you set about things that you would report on your return.
Naturally. These things cannot be left to rot upon the tree. And sponsors were remarkably easy to find. I tell you, Professor, a trail of greed brings rich men to your door like pigs to truffles.
February 17th, 1899. And I said, "Look, my darlings, can you see it?" And they said, "Yes, Daddy, yes, we see it. A tall, weathered cap of a steep-sided pyramid, so like those of Egypt. Stone falling away from the summit, vines crawling about intertwining, the stucco serpents that thrive about the steps. A palpable sense of stillness, a weight of forgotten. And this is where the king sat, and this is where the priests lived. This is the house of the dead. And here, where the sun strikes, this is where they threw the hearts that were not consumed. No, my darlings, they most certainly were not savages. You see, they believed that the sky could fall on their heads, and they truly, truly believed that offering blood was the only way of stopping this from happening. Perhaps, my darling, perhaps they were mistaken altogether, or perhaps their tragedy was they could simply not spill blood enough to prevent the sky from falling in upon them.
That's it, Papa. You're so near now.
How much money does all this shit cost? He said that investors were easy to find. Oh. Sorry, dude. That's just a bunch of little piggy pogs. They're just kind of sitting down there and they're just kind of eating stuff. Must give them a headache with all the flashing lights everywhere. I do really like that, despite how poorly this game was received relatively, and the reputation that the Chinese room had because of making this. And even though, like, with that in mind, that it wasn't even the frictional that had made this, I really like the attention that frictional paid in making the bunker to be consistent with this game. The fact that the monster in the bunker also affects the lighting. I thought that was cool of them. Oh, he's using telekinesis to move the blocks. That's kind of nice. It's kind of creepy that you have classical music playing. Although if it's Debussy, then yeah, that would mean that it's copyrighted. I'm probably gonna get striked for these videos. Or, I'm not gonna be able to monetize them, but I don't get any fucking money from YouTube anyway, so. Just a little dude. He's sleeping on his cage. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Probably smells horrible in here. Ow. I could probably drop preemptively, but like that. From tide to spine, a skin of a shroud, a stump of the bled, old Lily is fly blown, old Lily is dead, and dreams of the jungle will flood through her head and light up her head. That's horrible. I really hope this dude wasn't trying to resurrect his wife.
You seem to have undergone quite a profound conversion in Mexico, Mr. Mann.
You could not have seen it yourself and not, Professor. As we disembarked, even through my fever, I saw the detritus of this so-called progress. I saw starvation and disease, rot and destruction polluting the waters of the Empire. We are ruiners, you and I, and all of us, and we make the world unclean.
And you took it upon yourself to act as Redeemer.
Professor, I would not be so presumptuous. I am merely a conduit. I am constructing an architecture to wrestle our damnation to the ground and smother it with steam.
Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Not sure about smothering people in steam, though.
He's here!
Get back here.
I said you'd come.
Oh, I have to read all these now. Bruised and battered, but alive, I have survived the saboteur's best efforts. He and I are now locked in an epic struggle. But I am driven to find my family, and I will prevail. Ignore the madness about me. Do not consider what cruel and unspeakable acts have been committed here. Find the way to the bilge, drain the flood, free your children. There's clearly another passage beyond the locked gates. It seems I have a choice of approach. The padlock is old but firm, and after that fall I cannot summon the strength to break it open. Perhaps I could find another way. It's some form of bizarre mixing device for chemical compounds, and it positively reeks of the foul fluids I have seen too often before. It's clearly a compound, some volatile bastard of two composite ingredients. I should wager I would find them close by. A heady brew. I have the compound. It hisses and steams in its container like some living thing, which is jelly to burn and corrode. The container is made from glass, a strange choice unless there is some particular reason why the metal that pervades everywhere else cannot be brought into contact with the so-called Compound X. I should investigate further for clues. The flooded tunnels. My mysterious friend is correct. The sewers are indeed flooded. To descend further, I will have to find the local sluice pumps to drop the water levels. The smell is almost unbearable. It makes me gag. Why should the saboteur have flooded the tunnels, though? What did he hope to achieve? Mandus. Post-Diluvian. That's done it. Now I can enter the strange decontamination chamber once again and move onwards. The waters are pushed back, making the way to the bilge clear, where I can divert the remainder of this filthy torrent back into the Thames where it belongs and clear the path to the center of the machine. A nest of wretches. Dear God, a whole nest of these foul creatures. No mind. My instincts have drawn me thus far, and I am sure somewhere in this dank complex is a means of further descent. I will not see their faces as they go about their dark business, and yet I watch them sleep and eat and play, and they are so very human, so very childlike. And I will not think of what I have seen, of the chairs and the cages, and I will not think of how such monsters may be sculpted. The pump room. These must be the bilge pumps. I am at the heart of the saboteur's efforts. In order to keep his flood in place, he must have disabled these vast pumps. But he was clearly rushed. Thus far, he has left most of his work incomplete. His clumsy efforts reduced to simply switching off all he could find. If I can locate the controls, the remedy will be simple. That's where we are now.
Ahead, it trickled to still waters. I dragged myself deeper into the temple, downward ever, towards a wind that held the voices of my children, beckoning me to set them free.
What was that? What are we for time? Okay, we've still got a bit to go. What did it say? Mandis processing. What? Was there something on the other end of the gate? I didn't see it. Wait, as an entire object, it's just that one door? That's fine. Valves and pumps. Another pump. Seems once again I must engage it. I cannot help but feel I am trapped in some great game, forced to undertake endless Herculean labors for the promised reward of my darling children. I mean, to be entirely honest, what the hell else is this guy gonna do? Like, nah, my children aren't worth this, man. Nah, you can have them. It's like, he lost his wife. He's not gonna lose his kids, too. Okay, I'll find something else then. Oh, shit. Well, I'm gonna head up those stairs, I think. 'Cause I'm not sure. Main pump controls. We're near the bottom of the machine now. Go. Have I made a mistake? That was horrible. The flood is drained. I have prevailed. The saboteur is beaten. My heart pounds with excitement. even as my head spins and shudders in feverish anticipation. How this machine now throbs about me, sensing its rebirth is imminent. The final descent beckons me to enter, as Lily once lay on our wedding bed and summoned me into manhood. Okay, dude. I wouldn't have made that comparison, but like, it's really weird that you are internalizing this quest to save your children as like as being similar to like your wife beckoning you into being inside of her to conceive said children. Like, that's kind of weird that you would make that comparison, but I mean, it's not like Oswald here is like sane, so I don't know why I would pretend to be surprised about that. Where do I go? The water. I drained the water. Whole reason I'm doing this. Well, away from here. Oh, I don't know how all those, I don't know how those electric Piggy Poggs didn't get, like when the water drained, so they're swimming then. They're not stomping around. They're swimming in the water. Because that's not like ankle-high water. So, I don't know how when the water drains that they're not on top of the catwalks with me. It's a good thing that they're not, but... And silence. The game is so noisy. I think this world has enough noise as it is, honestly. Whew. I'm literally just kind of just taking a moment. You and I, just because I love this game's audio design. I really do think it's phenomenal. But holy shit, this game is loud. All the horrid machinery everywhere. I suppose that's the point of the game, but oh, man. Before I go in through there, I'm not entirely certain how the Piggy Pogs are made. Like, I'm not sure how they as monsters are a thing. That's not what they're called, by the way, but I like calling them that. I think Compound X is like something to do with like it's kind of like Vitae. Like, I think you tortured pigs and animals to have Vitae, and then you combined the two animals together. I think that's how it happened. I don't know. Part of the mystery like feeds into the horror because you don't know what they are. So, after playing Alan Wake 2 enough times, which I platinumed the other day actually. I think I may have said that earlier, but I platinumed Alan Wake 2. Anyway, mystery is part of what assists horror a lot of the time. The children dancing. They pulled the child loose from the thresher, or at least what was left. More where that came from, said the foreman, apologizing for the inconvenience. What? I mean, I know what happens in this game, but it's like, I don't remember any of the loading screens. Like, I don't know. March 15th, 1899. Curled into my bunk, all sick and sweat-ridden, they clean my room about me, but I can only hear the voice from within, that gentlest of stones. It sings to me, and I dream of a great machine. We will build a new world from the ruins of the old. We will plant flowers in the rotten rib cage and let them grow to hold the sky from falling. I remember how it whispered to me as we rolled sick and heaving. And I remember when we pulled into Southampton and we both wept, for it was every bit as much a desecration as had been sung to me. And then we came to London, and I set it upon the mantelpiece, and we went into the house and gathered the servants, and set on recrafting them. And then I went into the garden and buried those tiny shattered skulls under the weeping bulges of the rhododendrons. Not sure what those are. Sounds like that flying pterodactyl monster from the Godzilla franchise. Rodan. The heart of the machine. And when they first said Daddy, my heart was molten, as if blood frozen upon the ground were held to the sun to thaw and slop. And they were inseparable, always together, one soul in two bodies, and my love was all-consuming. I would die for you, I whispered to their sleeping faces. I would kill. I would set this world to ruin to protect you. I have fought through dark tunnels, great engines, the foulest of beasts. I have set my covenant and drained this flood, and I am come for you now, my darling boys. Like, Oswald's journal entries kind of slap, honestly, but like, not the most appropriate time to be writing.
And we came then to London, and you set me upon a mantelpiece, and then you went into the house and gathered the servants, and we set, you and I, on recrafting them, and then you went into the garden and buried those tiny shattered skulls. Alone.
I just read that. So, that means that the guy who's been calling us this whole time is like the orb that Oswald found at some temple that he went to go visit, and he brought his sons with him. I don't know why he bothered doing that, but this guy is like an AI powered by the orb, but it's like 1899, so I don't know how this thing had AI. It's very steampunk kind of
For your children, Magnus, to spare them the world you have created, for us all.
yeah, this game.
Dear God, dear Christ, what is this place?
Real. Same. Let me tell you though, this game has perfect use of music. Best in the series, I think.
I tried so hard. I will uphold my promise. I will always protect them for you. My eyes are your eyes. My heart is your heart. I will rip them loose from this rotten world and set them to burn, all to save them.
Well, whoa. I did not do that. It bounced me back. That was weird. Must be something in there. All the pipes leading away from it. This literally looks like the heart of the machine. It's kind of freaky. Okay. The next episode is going to be a big one, so I'm gonna fiddle around in here, and then you'll see me next episode when I actually figure out how to turn this thing on. I feel like a really old person right now, like an old lady trying to figure out how to turn on the machinery. But I'll see you next episode. I promise it'll be a big one. Like not a big one, like it'll take a long time to watch, but like a big, there's a thing, like there's stuff will happen. That's what I mean. I'll see you there.